Take a look at all of these areas I have circled on the Bitcoin chart. All of these areas are where Bitcoin has found bottoms over the past several months. And there's something very interesting and very similar to all of these bottoms. I want to examine the possibility that we could be bottoming again right here, right now. But unfortunately, if we don't bottom here, and it doesn't look like what happened all of these prior times, my friends, we have to discuss the very real possibility of a dump down possibly into the 30,000s. So let's dive in and analyze. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. So we'll begin here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We're also going to take a look at the US dollar index and the US 10-year bond yields, because right now, my friends, all of this, it's madness, okay? We're going to look at all of this, okay? And of course, before we begin, smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithm. Thank you. If you're brand new, subscribe, tick the little bell, and select all so you do not miss any more of the most realistic Bitcoin technical analysis on YouTube. With that being said, welcome to the channel. Now let's begin here with the elephant in the room, the three prior lows for Bitcoin, all massive run-ups, which then led to a sell-off, then a rip to a new all-time high, okay? There is one indicator that has basically pinpointed this whole run-up, and this is the Keltner Channels indicator. Notice here on the one-day time frame specifically, every time that the Bitcoin price has tested back down to the bottom of the Keltner channel, we have seen it find support. Of course, past performance does not indicate future results, and this trend does not have to continue moving forward. But right now, with this most recent correction for the Bitcoin price, we are essentially right at the bottom of the Keltner channel line right here, right now. And if this uptrend is to continue and follow the same type of trajectory and trend that it's been on in terms of looking at it from a Keltner channel perspective, I mean, we're either right now very close to the bottom, or this is just going to fail and it's going to break the structure of which it's maintained essentially since December of 2020, right? This is also very interesting. Let me just remove these here now. It's very interesting because we are coming up here on this area of potential support as well. And why is it potential support? Quite simply, old resistance twice could now possibly look to flip into new support. This is classic technical analysis, no rocket science here, right? This is very simple stuff. So we have the trajectory, which has been maintaining itself since December of 2020. And right now we are also in a range of sideways horizontal potential support. I mean, for me, this is either the bottom or it isn't, okay? And that's why we need to discuss possible downside as well. If Bitcoin is going to continue its massive bull trend right now, for me, this has to be the bottom. It has to be, because if it isn't, we run the risk here of possibly dropping down not only into the 40,000s, but possibly deep into the 30,000s as well. So I just want to be clear with that. Right now, if Bitcoin is going to maintain its upward sloping trajectory, at least on this Keltner channel path that it's been on now for months on end, we right now have to see this hold here. Basically, at the time of recording at least, it looks like the bottom line is at about 51,000. For me, I want to see Bitcoin hold this area as support to look to then possibly break out of this downward sloping line of resistance to then possibly climb to a new all-time high. Okay, and if we are to climb to a new all-time high, I showed you this yesterday, but let's just say that this is a little weird bull flag here, right? Dipping a little bit further, but let's just say that it climbs back and rips. For me, the hypothetical flagpole target, right? The size of the flagpole dragged over to the potential breakout point. We'll just put it there for to get a generic crude view here. This does give us a target, my friends, up at essentially 75,000, between 74,000 and 75,000, depending on where you put this chart on the resistance line. Let's get this crypto. So for me, from a bullish perspective, I want to see that support hold. And if we then break out of this resistance trend line, I'm targeting potentially all the way up from 70 to 80,000. Let's get this crypto. Right? So it has to hold here, then it has to break out of the trend line, okay, and continue to move up. There's some work to be done here from a bullish perspective, but right now, I mean, to me, this is either the bottom or it isn't. Let's get this crypto. I hope you appreciate that take right there. And now we're going to get into the interesting stuff. So don't forget to subscribe, tick the little bell, and select all so you do not miss any more of these important Bitcoin and crypto analyses. So now that we've got the bullish part out of the way, well, what happens if this trajectory doesn't hold, right? Just because this has happened since December doesn't mean that this has to happen now. So if we lose this line, right, we drop below the Keltner, we close daily candle bodies below the Keltner, and even more importantly here, below this horizontal range. My friends, it's at this point where this area of old resistance, which we would hope turns into new support, could then just possibly turn into resistance once again. Dropping below there is not what I want to see from a bullish perspective. So then we have this now, which could possibly act as a floor here before a bounce and a rip to new highs, could then possibly act as a bearish little ceiling here, okay? And if that is in fact the case, well, we should all be very well aware that at that point, we have the Keltner possibly working against us rather than with us, okay? This whole way up, upward sloping, finding support at the bottom of the one-day Keltner channel, all nice, all gravy. If we now see the Keltner start to roll over here and the Bitcoin price is trading below the Keltner, right? So let's actually just flip the chart upside down real quick, just so you can get an idea. Say it was reversed, right? Say we were in a bear trend. This is what it would look like. You're trading below the line, right? You then bounce up into it and use the top as resistance, okay? Just quite the opposite, right? Where you keep going below. When you test back in, the Keltner is resistance rather than the reality of the situation, which is at the bottom of the Keltner has been support, right? So if we start to see the Keltner work against us and we start to see a view something more like this, where we drop below, then test back up and see the top act as resistance, my friends, it's at this point that for me, the whole structure of the trend has changed, right? And the Moon Boys, my friends, they'll come out with every excuse in the book. But the institutions are in now, Kirby. It's a store of value, Kirby. Digital gold. I understand that, my friend. I completely understand that. But what I want to do here now, since I've outlined the possible shift in the narrative here, if the Bitcoin price drops, right? Keyword if. What I want to do now is go over to the US dollar index and the US 10-year bond yield. We're going to take a quick look at this, and then we're going to discuss possible downside targets as well. Okay? So let's right now go over to the DXY. All right, this is the US dollar index, the US dollar traded against a basket of other world currencies. We can see that since March of 2020, the global uncertainty health debacle, to put it lightly, began our serious downtrend in the DXY. Right now, though, the narrative here is quite different from the narrative up here, right? Right now, over the past 3 months, really, okay, roughly 2 to 3 months, we have now seen the US dollar index on a series of higher highs and higher lows. My friends, this is classic bullish pattern formation, right? Classic. And right now, it is possibly looking to break up into this channel that I have outlined here, which, if this channel does not act as resistance, and why? Because simply put, old support, right, could possibly look to act as new resistance and push us back down. If we see the US dollar index create support in here and look to possibly even break up into this channel here, basically above a 94, we're at 92.5 roughly right now at the time of recording. If we see the US dollar continue to move here and move essentially with force, this at some point, in my opinion, should apply some bearish pressure to Bitcoin, right? Which takes me back to my narrative that I was just stating. People, at least many speculators in this space, are basing their bullish thesis on Bitcoin on the fact that the US dollar is plunging, right? And that, over time, the fiat system is going to collapse, that inflation is coming. And I totally understand that sentiment. And I think you would have to have a very small amount of brain cells to not understand that, yes, over time, the US dollar is certainly going to inflate. That's just a given. And Bitcoin is essentially looked at as an inflation hedge. But right now, the US dollar index bearish trade seems to have been overcrowded. It seems that the bears here got a little bit too brazen, right? Too many short traders, too many people betting against the dollar, right? To now the point that the US dollar is on the rise, okay? And also here, in conjunction with this, we're seeing the US 10-year bond yields absolutely rip as well, okay? This is parabolic here, folks. And sure, you may not understand this fully, which is fine. You don't really have to, right? The yield right now, essentially at the time of recording, is a 1.61. So I know that I always have a bunch of moon boys and stuff, but Kirby, who's invested in bonds at 1.61%? It's not me or you. It's not retail traders. These are the largest banks and institutions in the world trading this globally, all right? And basically, there's a myriad of reasons for this, but let's just talk about one of the most simple ones real quick. When we're seeing bonds dive, right, it's not advantageous for these banks to hold trillions of dollars in bonds when they're just dumping and falling off of a cliff. That's when they tentatively, and historically have looked at things like gold, all right? We'll actually take a quick look at gold here. I just want you to understand, right? Gold has been getting crushed here, right? And you see that right around the time gold topped is when we saw the bonds start to rip to the upside heavily, okay? So with the bonds rolling to the upside, we've now seen gold drop down. And why is this? Well, simply put, it costs money to store gold. These banks have to pay custodial services and fees to hold this gold for them, massive gold. So when you switch the narrative here, right, and you look at, well, the bonds are now ripping again, and sure, it's only 1.61%, but these are generally just reserves, okay? And right now, with that occurrence here in the bond market, and with the US dollar index itself ripping on a multi-month uptrend, creating a series of higher highs and higher lows, all of a sudden, this extremely bearish dollar narrative is really starting to dissipate here. Sure, long term, it could just dump again. We have to see what happens here. But right now, the narrative of just extremely bearish dollar has dissipated. I don't know how else to put that. And at some point here, right, if truly the narrative has been that Bitcoin is the buy because of the depreciation in the US dollar index and the need to get out of that currency, if the US dollar index is going to continue strong and the bond yields are going to continue strong as well, I would expect this to potentially cause a macro bearish pressure on the Bitcoin chart, for Bitcoin in general, rather. And that, I know that's not a popular opinion, but if you appreciate these kind of realistic takes here, folks, I really would appreciate that thumbs up for the channel. It so helps the algorithm. So thank you for that. If you're brand new, you see by now, welcome to the most realistic Bitcoin channel on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, tick the little bell, and select all so you do not miss any more of these important Bitcoin and crypto analyses. So now let's discuss some downside potential targets, right? So for me right now, all eyes, if we break below the Keltner, I'll pull it up again here. If we drop below the Keltner and begin to close full candle bodies below that, which we have not done on this whole uptrend, okay, and we close full candle bodies below this line at about 49,000, so basically right down around here, the probability for a drop down increases, in my opinion. Sure, we could just drop down to here and rip right back up. Technical analysis is not about predicting the future. Kirby, you said if we dropped there, that we were going down, we went up. My friend, this is not a crystal ball. You think that I know exactly what's going to happen here? That's not my job. My job as an analyst is to observe the probabilities, okay? If we drop below there, my personal opinion is that the probability for potential further downside action is increased. Now, if we do continue to drop, my first target range here is roughly between 40,600 and 39,000 USD. Why is that? Simply put, we have these old prior highs here, old resistance, which now possibly, upon backtest, could act as new support. This, in my opinion, would be the last line in the sand for the bulls. It could be one of these major, heinous pullbacks and corrections, let's just take it from the top. This could be a roughly 37% decline for Bitcoin. Okay, it may seem like the bull trend is over, right? It may seem like the blow off top has come in. Oh, Kirby, my Bitcoins. It may seem like it's all over. But what I want to do here just briefly is roll back in time. I just want to show you that all throughout the 2017 bull market, the 2016 through 2017 bull market, we saw absolutely heinous drops time and time and time again. That one right there, roughly 40%. This one right here, roughly 30%. This one right here, roughly 32%. This one up here, let's take it, roughly 40%. This one right here, roughly 40%. This one up here, roughly 30%. You get the picture, okay? And all of these times, the Bitcoin uptrend remained intact until we ultimately went up to our blow off top at about 20,000. So, of course, once more, past performance does not indicate future results, and the past does not have to look anything like what could potentially happen here in the present. But what I'm stating is that for me, this is the last line in the sand. If we drop below here, to me, this does certainly start to look like we could be in a full-blown bubble-popping correction. I mean, even if I just take the graphic off your screen, I think you can see the similarities there, right? Let's get this crypto. So by now, if you've just discovered this channel, I don't know if you have or you haven't, let me know down below. How long have you been a subscriber here? I'd really be interested to know. I know some of you have watched this channel for a very long time, and I thank you for that. And I hope you appreciate what I provide here for you almost on a daily basis. But if you're brand new, I mean, you can see why this channel is different than the others, right? I'm not here to just pump you up and fluff you up on moonshot dreams and Lamborghinis, right? I keep it real. I let the charts speak for me. Sure, we can't always get it right? This is just technical analysis. It's probabilities. Even what looks like an amazing trade setup can obviously fail and lead to a loss. That's just part of this business. That's called trading. Trading and investing is extremely high risk. But what I do here day in and day out is look to give myself the best perceived edge to potentially crush the next market move and get this crypto, whichever way it breaks, right? So if we break up, your plan has to be as equally well thought out as if we break down, okay? If you feel that there's a difference in your strategy if we break up or if we break down, then there's likely a flaw in your strategy, right? Because you should not fear a dump, right? Let's just put it this way. As I walk through the shadow and the valley of wrecked, I shall fear no pullback. You like that one, ladies and gentlemen? We'll put it in the book of the Don, all right? Sheesh. So as I walk through the valley and the shadow of wrecked, I shall fear no pullback. Right now, there would be a myriad of potential opportunities, either to short, right, and potentially gain to the downside, or potentially, get some long orders in, possibly catch what could be a very, very opportunistic dip, right? A dip should not scare you, right? You need to have risk mitigation strategies for yourself. Every trader is different, right? There is no one size fits all strategy, right? So what I do, folks, is if you want to see my strategy for myself and how I plan to potentially crush the market, I keep you updated in VIP around the clock, 24/7, as I see potential trade setup ideas form for myself. And if you'd like to see all of my trade setup ideas, entry ideas, exit ideas, potential take profit ideas, where I put my stop loss, everything like that in absolute real time, then I will be posting that for you exclusively in VIP. So if you're not already in my VIP, you should consider becoming a VIP today if that is something that you're interested in, okay? And of course, I'll see you in VIP right now after this video. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I'll see you in VIP right now after this video. So just one more time here, folks. If you're wondering how I'm able to remain so cool, calm, and collected here and just look at this market rationally, my friends, it's because the Don has been up the mountain. The Don has been down the mountain. And quite frankly, the Don has also been everywhere in between. And I have wined and dined with kings and queens. And I have slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans. And let me tell you something, folks. The Don prefers the wine and queens every single time. So as these moon boys and degenerates continue to live a life of peril and squalor, the Don will continue to grind for every Satoshi and dollar. Let's get this crypto. My friends, do not get wrecked here. Do not be taking that trip to Wrecked City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. Do not get caught like a deer in the headlights. I repeat, please do not get caught like a deer in the headlights. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. Now, on that note, if you'd like to see all of my personal speculative trade setup ideas where I'm looking to potentially enter, exit, potentially take profit, where I'm looking to mitigate my risk with stop losses and things like that for this next potential move here, whether it's up or down, I do not care. Right now, I'm strategizing around the clock to potentially crush the move whichever way it breaks. If you want to see all of my trade setup ideas for this potential breakout and large move here, well, I'll see you in VIP right now after this video. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. My friends, I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs. Oh, and beware of the fake Kirby imposters down in the comment section. I will never post a phone number on your comment. I will never send you any type of unsolicited email. That is not me. You can see the two examples down below. They have the same name as me, but they're posting phone numbers. They're using very weird typing to get around the spam filter. That is not me. This is an example of my real comment here. You can see the nameplate has a gray background to it, and I do leave a creator heart next to the thumbs up so you can validate that that is me. I generally only post the VIP information in a pinned comment, so you know that is me there. My friends, don't fall for any of the fakes. Be smart, be safe. I'll see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto.
The material in this video has no regard to the specific investment objectives, financial situation, or particular needs of any viewer. This video is presented solely for informational and entertainment purposes and is not to be construed as a recommendation, solicitation, or an offer to buy or sell any securities, commodities, cryptocurrencies, or any related financial instruments, nor should any of its content be taken as investment advice. Crypto Kirby is not a financial advisor. The views expressed in this video are completely speculative opinions and do not guarantee any specific result or profit. Trading and investing is extremely high risk and can result in the loss of all of your capital. Any opinions expressed in this video are subject to change without notice. Crypto Kirby is not under any obligation to update or keep current the information contained herein. Crypto Kirby may have an interest in the securities, commodities, cryptocurrencies, and or derivatives of any entities referred to in this material. Crypto Kirby accepts no liability whatsoever for any loss or damage of any kind arising out of the use of all or any part of this material. Crypto Kirby recommends that you consult with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment or trading decisions. Thank you for watching and have a great day.